Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about the INTP blind spot. So the INTP blind spot is extrovert sensing, which is the seventh function, the shadow function. Um, so the blind spot means that the function that largely doesn't seem to exist in the brain is largely unconscious and only comes out in certain circumstances. So I heard somewhere that when you are faced with a situation where you have to act, a lot of dopamine is released in your brain, so you're alert and focused. And I know that the default way of an INTP functioning is absent-minded and detached, and we're in our head, and reality is sort of secondary compared to our internal thinking. So the thing is, I've had days where I've taken caffeine and uh, I'm very focused on the external environment, and especially if I haven't had caffeine for a long time. I try to avoid caffeine because it's not good for you, but it does have a lot of benefits with work sometimes when you have to work all day and you feel like crap and you need something to get through. And so, yeah, like one night I had 3 hours of sleep and I had to work from 8 a.m. till 2 p.m. So I had a 100 milligram caffeine tablet and that made me very alert, very in the moment. So I don't know if there's further studies into caffeine and activating extrovert sensing, for example, or parts of the brain. So you can say extrovert sensing in a sense ambiguous, but what I'm getting at is, does caffeine bring out or activate parts of the brain that make you more aware of your external environment? Sometimes I drink a coffee and I'm very in my head and jittery and um, have bizarre sort of emotional feel sort of like my thoughts have more of an emotional like I don't know how to explain it it's hard to explain emotions at all, to be honest. Um, it's like sometimes drinking coffee gives me a jittery mind, which is also gives me sort of a weird, bit of like a weird tiny mood swing or something. Like I lose my sort of uh, balanced, detached, neutral sort of mind that is always sort of there. Um, as all TP types would know, like our minds are very just sort of straightforward. Um, well, STP is a bit more closer to the point. NTPs are pretty, like minds are pretty wild, but having TI conscious and FE unconscious, as in yeah, being a TP, um, we are generally very neutral. So yeah, back to the point. Extrovert sensing is the blind spot. You can see the blind spot is FE in ITJ types because uh, they can be pretty harsh. So extroverted feeling is certainly not a very conscious function in them. Um, yeah, so I think it's interesting. It's hard to understand how the shadow functions play a role in the psyche for each type. But yeah, that's something further to be investigated. Thank you for watching.